Hello everyone. So in today's lecture, we are going to study about the natural resources. Okay, so let's start. So the first question is, what do you mean by the term natural resources? What is the meaning of the term natural resources? And second is artificial resources, also called man-made resources. So what is the meaning of these two terms? First, natural resources, second, artificial resources. So basically, natural resources are obtained from nature, like forest, like water, like wind, like solar energy, and like other factors which are directly obtained from the nature. Whereas the man-made resources like your air conditioner, like your television, like your mobile phone, and any other things which are not obtained from the nature and which are made by the humans comes under the topic artificial resources or the man-made resources. Okay, so here we have looked upon the natural resources as well as the artificial and man-made resources. Okay, then what is the use of natural resources? Basically, the natural resources are used in so many activities and very important for our industrial growth and the human well-being. Okay, and how? Let's understand this question. The first is coal. Okay, first topic is the minerals. Okay, first topic is minerals. Okay, so minerals is the first form of natural resources. Basically, minerals are used in industrial sector. Minerals are used in industrial sector. Okay, our next question is, what is the mineral? Okay, they are used in industries and they are the natural substance. Okay, so these are the minerals. In minerals, we have the coal. Okay, the coal basically found in the Chota Nagpur plateau area, which comprise of Jharkhand, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, and West Bengal. Okay, coal is used in thermal power plant, and also for a domestic purpose. Like in your household, especially in villages, you have seen that women generally use coal for cooking foods. Okay, and also in thermal power plants, it is used to generate steam, and to ensure the working of turbine. Okay, we will learn about it in the energy resources section. Okay, second point about coal is that there are 4 types of coal generally found. Okay, starting with first one is anthracite, second one is bituminous, third one is lignite, and the fourth one is peat. Okay, so these are the coals. Out of them, bituminous is mostly found in India. Okay, so the supreme category is anthracite with 90% of coal, then the bituminous with 70 to 80% of coal, thereafter lignite with 60 to 70%, and then peat, which is below 40%. Okay, so just write it down. Anthracite having 90% of coal, bituminous having 70 to 80% of coal, lignite having 60 to 70% of coal, and peat having below 40% of coal. And bituminous is the most abundant coal found in India. Now the second is iron ore. Iron ore basically used in heavy industries. Okay, and what do you mean by heavy industries? We will have a discussion over it in our upcoming topics. Okay, till then just remember iron ore used in heavy industries and the steel industry. industry. Okay, and it is also has 4 types: 1, 2, 3 and 4, starting with magnetite, then hematite, then limonite, then siderite. Okay, and in India, all these type of iron ore found: magnetite, hematite, limonite, and siderite. Out of these 4, these both found in abundance, or you can say mostly found in India. Hematite and magnetite are mostly found in India. Okay, and the regions of Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Karnataka, and Jharkhand are basically famous for the iron ore. Okay, iron ore is the primary raw material for the steel industry, as I have told you, also for the heavy industries, and we will have a discussion over heavy industries in our upcoming topic. Now, the bauxite. Bauxite is basically ore of aluminium. Basically, ore of aluminium, and aluminium used basically in electricity industry, aircraft industry, and automobiles. Okay, so bauxite like this. Bauxite looking like this is basically the ore of the aluminium. What do you mean by ore? Any mineral out of which metal can be taken out. Is basically a ore. Basically, we called it ore. Okay, and what do you mean by metal? Non-metal and metalloids. We will have a discussion over these topics in a general science section. Okay, till then, just remember the line: the ore is the mineral from which the metal can be taken out. Okay, so this is the basic definition of the ore. Got it? And bauxite is a mineral out of which aluminium can be taken out, and aluminium used in electricity, aircraft industry, and automobiles. And aluminium is a metal. Aluminium is a metal. Got it? Okay. So now, remember one thing also, there is a complete pattern from mineral to convert it into ore and then convert it into metal. There is a complete process for it. Okay, so we will have this process in a general science section as well. Got it? So now come to the next one. Next one is a manganese. Okay, and manganese basically used for heavy industries, okay, and manganese is an essential for the steel industries. Okay, but note down some points here, some points regarding manganese which are important. First thing is, manganese is a metal. Manganese is a metal because it is generated from the ore, and ore is a form of mineral from which metal can be taken out. So manganese is a metal. Okay. Okay, and also it is in a silvery form. It means when it's extracted from the ore, then it's look like a silver. Okay, it is a metal in a silver form. Second thing is, the question is why it is used in steel industries. As I have told you, it is mainly used for the industrial industries. Okay, the reason is it provides strength to steel. Okay, basically steel is used in place of iron in many places because steel is hard, steel is workable for long, and also steel is anti-resistant. Okay, steel is hard, so it can be used for heavy work. It is workable, so low maintenance is required, and also it is anti-resistant, so that you should not worry about the declination of a steel. Okay, whereas iron is always oxidized when keep with air and the moisture, and it started decline. It started decline, or it started declinization. Okay, so that's why steel is used. And to make steel this hard, this workable and anti-resistance, various components are used, and manganese is out of them. The second question is, if manganese is extracted from the ore, then what is the name of the ore? The name of the ore is pyrolusite. Okay, let me write down again. Pyrolusite. Okay. Pyrolusite. Okay. Now come to the next point. Copper, lead, zinc, and nickel. Okay. India has significant reserve of these metals used in various industries, like copper and lead, mainly used for electric industries. Okay. Okay. And the zinc, basically used for automobiles industries, mainly for car batteries, whereas nickel is used for alloys and electromagnetic industries. Okay, what do you mean by alloys and what are the electromagnetic industries? We will have a discussion over them in a general science section. Till then, remember, copper and lead used in electric industries, whereas zinc used in automobile industries, and nickel used in alloys and electromagnetic industries. Okay, now come to the next point. Is the energy resources. Basically, energy required to do work. Okay, anything which is doing work around you is running by the energy, like your fan through electric energy. Okay, similarly, your motorcycle running through heat energy, or you can say more precisely due to combustion. Okay, so these all things are running and working on the energy. Okay, so basically the energy resources are the resources which provide energy to do work. Okay, so these are basically the resources which provide energy to do work. Got it? India is one of the largest consumers of petroleum and natural gas. Major reserves are found in Mumbai High, Gujarat, Assam, and the Krishna Godavari basin. Okay. Basically, you can see there are two terms. First is petroleum, second one is natural gas. Okay. So the petroleum also called as fossil fuels. And natural gas obtained from Earth interiors. In our static GK part, we will have a detailed discussion over formation of the fossil fuels and over the formation of the natural gas. Till then, just remember that petroleum, also known as fossil fuels, and natural gas obtained from the Earth interiors. Okay, and they extracted from the Earth areas in India, basically from the Mumbai High, from the Gujarat, from Assam, and the Krishna Godavari basin. Okay, thereafter they are used for various processes to provide energy to do work. Got it? Now, nuclear power. India has a uranium reserves, and nuclear power is an important source of electricity generation. Okay. Basically, what happened? There is a term called nuclear fission, and there is another term called nuclear fusion. Nuclear fusion. Okay, we will have the discussion over this process in our upcoming lectures. Till then, just remember there are two terms, and the nuclear power plant working on the phenomenon of nuclear fission. Okay, and in nuclear power plants like this, as you can see, it required fuel. Just write down these points. Required fuel, which is U-235. U-235. Okay. It required moderator so that the walls of the reactants like this does not get heat too much and get blast. It requires moderators such as heavy water, or deuterium oxide. Also require absorbers to absorb the excess energy. Like you required only 80% of energy, but it produced 100% of energy. So to absorb the excessive 20% of energy, it requires, not proton beams, required graphite, boron, cadmium, and beryllium rods. Any of these rods could be used to absorb the excess amount of energy. So basically, the fuel used in nuclear power plant is U-235. Stands for uranium 235. For moderator, to moderate the temperature of the reactants, required heavy water, deuterium oxide, and to absorb the excess amount of energy requires graphite, boron, cadmium, and beryllium. Any of these rods. Okay. So here we have finished the nuclear power plant. About the locations of the nuclear power plant, we will have a discussion in our upcoming lectures. Thereafter, renewable energy. So there are two terms: renewable energy and non-renewable energy. Okay, so the energy which could be used again and again without decreasing in amount, it is renewable, means it could be used and it could be regenerated. Whereas the energy which could be used with decreasing amount only, it means that it is limited in quantity, like your fossil fuel. Okay, your fossil fuel are limited, you cannot use them in excessive amount. Okay, your fossil fuels are non-renewable energy, they are limited in quantity, and it requires millions of years in its regeneration. Okay, so the renewable energies are solar energy, wind energy, hydro energy, and the biomass. Okay, also called biogas. Okay, so these are the energies which are unlimited in number and could be used without depletion or without decreasing. Okay, whereas the non-renewable energy could be only used with decreasing in quantity because they are in limited quantities and may take millions of years in regeneration. Okay, thereafter we have the agricultural resources. Okay, in agricultural resources, basically first is a fertile soil. India has a diverse range of soil suitable for agriculture, including alluvial and northern plains, red and black soil in Deccan Plateau, and laterite soil in some coastal plains. Basically, in India, we have so many soil types. Like the first is alluvial plains, sphere black soil. Thereafter, we also have not lignite. It is laterite basically. We have laterite soil. Also, we have marshy soil. Then we have red soil and other soils as well. Okay. So basically in India, we have so many soil types. And due to this, we have a variety of things grown over here. Okay. Like alluvial soil support some crops of Kharif and Rabi season. What are Kharif and Rabi season? We have a discussion over it in our upcoming lectures. Whereas the black soils support cotton, laterite soil support coffee, marshy soil support lotus full cultivation, lotus flower cultivation, whereas red soil is rich in minerals only. Okay, so due to this pattern, we have so many soil types and we have so many crops grown over in India. Okay, so these all combined together form the agricultural resources section of fertile soil. But basically, ICAR stand for Indian Council for Agricultural Research. In our coming topics, we have a discussion over it. Okay, ICAR responsible for the maintenance of the soils in India. Okay, second is water resources is also a part of the agricultural resources. In India, we have so many river systems like the Ganga, like the Indus, like the Brahmaputra, Yamuna, Godavari, Krishna, Mahanadi, and so on. Okay, so these rivers provide a better chances for the irrigation. Okay, and also we have made so many lakes and canals to that areas where the water of these river does not reach. Okay, suppose if Ganga flows from this area, then we could make a canal from this to that part where the water of Ganga directly not reaching. Okay, so we could make so many canals for the irrigation. So water resources also plays an essential part in our management. Thereafter, forest resources. In India, we have so many types of forests, like the tropical, like the deciduous, like the evergreen, like the mangrove forest. Okay, and we will have a discussion over these types in our upcoming lecture in detail. Till then, just remember, forests are important for wood, for furniture, fruits and leaves, fruits for market, leaves for medicine, roots for decoration works. In wood, you could take example of sal tree. For fruits, you could take example of mahua. For leaves, you could take example of radifera. For medicine, we could have example of neem. And for decorative roots, you could have example of bonsai. Bonsai. Okay. So here we have finished about the forest resources, and these are the main works of forest which we use for our industrial purposes. Okay. Besides the industrial purposes, forest also home for various tribes which are living there. Okay. Thereafter, the marine sources. India has a coastline of 7,500 kilometers. Okay. Surrounded by Arabian Sea. Thereafter, Bay of Bengal, and it is used for fishing, pearl cultivation, medicinal purposes, and tourism. Okay. So these are some of the uses of the marine resources we practice in India. Okay. So in this lecture, we have finished about the natural resources. In next lecture, we will have a discussion over biodiversity. Till then, thank you.